Hello my lovelies and welcome back to my channel. I'm Heather and this is the Happenings with H.A.P. H.A.P. meaning my initials. Happy holidays. I hope you are enjoying December and are really starting to get into that festive spirit. I know I am, despite all the craziness. If you've ever watched my channel before, I definitely have a thing for tags. I love lists. And I love talking about things that I like, hence why I have a YouTube channel. But also, I love doing tags because I feel it's a great way to get to know someone's interests in a pretty quick way. And also, they're just really fun because you get to try to figure out what you want to answer with based on the prompts. Kind of like a little puzzle too. I don't know, it probably makes me sound really weird, but it is something I really enjoy. I have an entire tags playlist. After doing so many in such a short amount of time on this channel, I was wondering, like, what if I tried to make my own tag? And I wasn't sure what type of tag I wanted to do. And then I knew I had to do some sort of a movie tag because a lot of the tags I do are books. And then I was like, why don't I try to do a holiday movie tag so that I can list like a lot of my favorite holiday movies and specials. And I did look through YouTube to see if there was a tag like this and I couldn't find one. So I think I might be the first one. But regardless, if it's buried in the depths of search results that I couldn't find, I know that the topics and prompts are definitely my thing. So there might be a holiday movie tag out there, but it definitely won't have these prompts. It is a list of 10 prompts / questions, and it's all based around holiday traditions. And I wanted it to be holiday traditions and not just Christmas because I know a lot of people that watch my channel probably don't celebrate Christmas, and there's a lot of really cool holidays around the world or just types of traditions that people do around the world. And obviously I couldn't get through every one of them, but I tried to list some of the major ones, some secular, some religious, and it was a lot of fun trying to craft the questions around the prompt that I had chosen. I'm going to have an entire list of all of the prompts for this tag down below, and if you decide to do it, please link my channel and tag me. I want to watch them because I want to know everyone's holiday favorites, because maybe there's a movie I haven't seen that you have and you love. So if you are new, welcome. I hope you enjoy this tag. I hope you do this tag. If you are returning, the same to you. I hope you guys try out this tag. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell because I'm going to be having a lot more videos this month. There'll be a lot more postings than my typical once a week, so keep an eye out because a lot of stuff is coming down the pipeline and I'm super excited about it, and I hope you guys are too, and I don't want you to miss anything. So with that, let us get into my tag I created. I'm so excited. The holiday traditions movie tag. The first prompt is advent calendar. The question for that is, since there are a lot of them, which is your favorite Christmas Carol adaptation? I love A Christmas Carol. I've seen so many of the adaptations, but hands down, my favorite is the 1999 version featuring Patrick Stewart. And that was more so based on his one-man production of A Christmas Carol that he did on the West End for a while. There's something about this version that I just really love. It's pretty close to the source material, though it does deviate a little bit. And I feel like it was one of the first times I had seen that really did stick to the source material pretty well. And I remember it being like it was a big TNT event. I do remember like the hype about it, and it was just such a great adaptation even though it was made for TV. And Patrick Stewart is just an amazing Scrooge, and I just really loved it, and it's my hands down favorite one, and it's one I try to rewatch every year when I can. Next up, we have Santa's Cookies, and the question for this one is a holiday movie that is super sweet and always gives you the warm and fuzzies. And this one, I had to pick this because it is definitely one I watch around every Christmas, but also can watch whenever because it is technically a Christmas movie, but not. And that movie is The Holiday, and it stars Jude Law, Kate Winslet, Cameron Diaz, and Jack Black. I don't know why I love this movie so much. I remember seeing it in the movie theater and I just fell in love with it. I already adore Kate Winslet, and I of course love Jude Law. There's just something about this movie and just finding love and finding yourself and finding who the right fit is for you. It's a romantic comedy with a lot of heart, and there's something believable about it, and there's just something heartwarming about it. It's just fun and sweet, and it's like the best elements of a romantic comedy. And obviously the cast is like insane. They're all fantastic. Usually my mom and I will always sit down and watch this every year when we can, and it just always puts a smile on my face and always makes me happy. And yeah, like there's not much else to say about it. It's just, it definitely hits that sweet spot and is what makes it very much like a modern day holiday classic now. The next prompt we have is Christmas tree. What is your favorite big budget blockbuster holiday movie or special? Basically all the bells and whistles, hence a Christmas tree. And for this one, I had to pick Home Alone. I've loved Home Alone since I was a child. It was released in 1990 and was directed by Chris Columbus and written by John Hughes, who basically wrote all of the 80s, if you will, and starred Macaulay Culkin, Joe Pesci, Daniel Stern, John Hurd, Catherine O'Hara. So like all of these big names in comedy and film. It's just such a perfect holiday movie. There's an absurd factor to it, the amount of family that is involved, and just kind of goes into like how suffocating a big family can be, especially around the holidays when you're kind of almost forced to be with these people. But there's a lot of heart, there's a lot of comedy, it's slapstick. I mean, who didn't want to be Kevin and have an entire house to yourself, as well as getting to set all these traps up and kicking the ass of the bad guys? Like, we all wanted to do that. I know I did when I was a kid. And the commercial that Macaulay Culkin did for Google Home like last year, the biggest relief of my life, I'm not even gonna lie, was seeing him get to actually enjoy that damn macaroni and cheese dinner that he made for himself all these years later. This movie was a part of my childhood, all of my life, and I can't remember when I didn't remember watching it, because I was 5 when it was released. So it definitely holds a place in my heart of being a Christmas tradition. I've only ever seen the first two. I don't mess with the sequels because no. But I absolutely adore this movie, and it has heart, it has comedy, it has everything. It even scared me a bit as a child, which is really great too, because like I grew up with it. So like there's so many memories I have attached to this film. And is it cheesy? Is it the best movie ever made? Probably not, but I don't care. Like, it's just a part of myself, as a part of my expectations for the holidays, and I just absolutely adore it. The next prompt we have is Krampusnacht, which is Krampus night for those that don't know German. And Krampus is kind of the antithesis to Santa in German tradition. For this prompt, we have your favorite holiday movie special that has a bit of darkness to it, because some movies aren't all warm and fuzzy. And I couldn't not add this movie to this list because it is like the quintessential like dual holiday favorite, and that is Tim Burton's A Nightmare Before Christmas. I love this movie. It is a musical. It is stop motion animation. It is a really fun, unique story, and obviously it has that Tim Burton gothic whimsy to it. I know that there's kids that didn't love this movie or it was too scary. I adored it. I never really found it scary. I still love it as an adult. It's just such a good movie, and you can watch it for Halloween and for Christmas. Like, it fits both holidays perfectly, and is why it's always on Freeform like basically the entire fall and winter season. I just love it so much. And Danny Elfman composed the music and also was the singing voice for Jack, and Catherine O'Hara was the voice of Sally. The music is just mind-blowing and you can't not sing along to it. How it's still not been turned into a stage production, I will never understand, because it's just so perfect and it would be so fantastical. So hopefully when the world opens up again, we can get a stage production of this, because it is so good. I just love this movie so much. The next prompt we have is Kwanzaa Kinara. Kinara is Swahili for candle holder, and in the Kwanzaa tradition, it is a series of 7 candles that is lit throughout the week of Kwanzaa, and there's one lit each day. And the candles are also the symbolic colors of the holiday, so red, green, and black. This is something I didn't know before I actually went into research for this tag, so this was really interesting to learn. I didn't know that Kwanzaa had this type of tradition, so it was really cool. So for this prompt, we have your favorite holiday movie or special that makes you think about the reason for the season. And I couldn't not add this movie to this prompt because I don't know of many movies that would probably fit it, but it is the 1946 Frank Capra classic, It's a Wonderful Life, starring James Stewart and Donna Reed. This was not one that I grew up with watching when I was a child. I actually first watched it in high school and I fell in love with it. It's one of those movies that kind of transcended watching it, like you know the plot of it before you've ever actually seen the film. It's not even really, if you actually really think about it, yes, the character attempts to commit suicide on Christmas, but the movie itself is not really about Christmas. It is about how you affect the lives of others, which definitely is a big part of the holiday season and being with family and stuff like that. But the film itself is really actually not a Christmas film. The networks air it, I think, Christmas Eve, like religiously every year. And it was also one of those films that did not get really popular or made a lot of money until it was in syndication. So it's kind of your flop may end up being your holiday tradition. You never know. It is a beautiful story about how one affects the lives of others. I could do a whole video commentary though on the kind of negative aspects of the film, but I won't do that in this tag because this tag is just meant to be light and fun. But if you are interested about like my thoughts on the film as a narrative and character structure, let me know because I would love to do a video on that. That would just be really fun. But I still love this movie a lot, and it definitely makes me think of what the season is supposed to be about in the first place. The next prompt is Spin the Dreidel, which for those that don't know, Dreidel is a toy and a game associated with the holiday of Hanukkah, and it's supposed to be a reminder of the miracle that happened with Hanukkah. For this prompt, I have your favorite animated holiday movie or special. I have a lot of those. You know, I grew up with the Charlie Brown, the Grinch, all of the stop motion, you know, the Rudolphs and stuff like that when I was a child. So I had to think about what one I really wanted to put for this one, and the one I remember watching the most because I was obsessed with Disney as a child was Mickey's Christmas Carol. So that's what I had to put for this one. It is an abbreviated version of the Christmas Carol story with Scrooge McDuck filling in as Ebenezer Scrooge, Mickey as Bob Cratchit, Goofy as Marley, Jiminy Cricket as the Ghost of Christmas Past, and Donald Duck as Scrooge's nephew Fred. So it's really cute, and I always loved it as a child. It was actually my first exposure to A Christmas Carol, so it always holds a place in my heart as being the first version that I ever remembered seeing, but I absolutely love it, and like I said, it's definitely my favorite holiday special. The next prompt we have is Nochebuena, which really basically just means good night. Now, traditionally, it refers to Christmas Eve, which is when most of Latin America ends up celebrating Christmas. Christmas Eve is usually the big day, and Christmas Day is kind of just a day of recovery. So for this prompt, we have your favorite, not traditionally family-friendly / adult holiday movie or special. I took a bit to think about this, but I had to go with like a classic that is kind of now family friendly because they aired on Freeform. But if you've actually watched the non-edited version, there's a lot there that would go over children's heads, but it was the 80s and it definitely is not a movie you would typically consider to be family friendly at all. And that is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, which follows the Griswolds as they have family come to their home for Christmas. If you've ever watched National Lampoon movies before, I grew up with a lot of them as a child, but if they were made and released today, I don't think that they would probably be considered part of holiday viewing. But Christmas Vacation is, like I said, it's on Freeform all the time, but in an edited form. But there are a lot of jokes and other things that can be pretty dirty and pretty messed up, but it's still really funny. And like I said, it's not traditionally what you would consider for like a holiday movie to get everyone to sit around. It's not PG at all. I think it was rated PG-13, but like I said, now it airs on TV edited so families can watch it together. It's definitely a fun one, definitely an adult one. Yeah, it's a good one. The next prompt we have is Yule, which started in Norway and was traditionally to celebrate the return of the sun. Yule is something that is celebrated in December. It's not traditionally a holiday that many people celebrate, but I definitely wanted to add it to this list because, like I said, I wanted to have kind of big representation of holiday traditions. And so for this prompt, the question we have is your favorite holiday movie or special that is not specifically about a holiday, but is still kind of considered a holiday movie. I know a big one and a big debate over the years has been Die Hard for a question like this. I wanted to pick a different movie though that reminds me of Christmas, even though it doesn't have anything to do with the holiday, and that is Tim Burton's Batman Returns, starring Michael Keaton, Michelle Pfeiffer, Danny DeVito, and Christopher Walken. There is something that is so, I mean, the film does take place around Christmas time, but it is something that I definitely associate with the season, even though like the plot has really not much at all to do with Christmas. But yet with Danny Elfman's music and with the way it's shot, it does evoke this kind of holiday feeling without really being about Christmas. I've always loved this movie as a child. I was obsessed with this movie as a child, and it's still my favorite Batman film ever made. It's just something about it that does remind me of Christmas and kind of puts me in the mood for it. It would be kind of like one of those you would watch like earlier in December to just kind of get you in that mood, even though, like I said, it has nothing to do with Christmas at all, aside from the fact that some of the plot takes place around Christmas time. So yeah, but it's one I really enjoy and I always think of when I think of this question. And next prompt we have is Christmas stockings. And for that we have, what is your favorite holiday short or special of all time? I thought that this question would be harder for me, but it ended up not, and I already knew what I wanted to put for it when I made it. And that was the original animated How the Grinch Stole Christmas, starring Boris Karloff as the narrator and as the Grinch himself. It's not the holidays if I don't watch this short. This short will get watched every year, no matter what, because it has to. And And because it came out in 1962, I obviously watched it from the moment I remember ever watching things. My mom watched it growing up too, so it also means something to her. It has always been a part of my Christmas. You know, because it's a Dr. Seuss book, it was probably one of the more universal representations of the meaning of Christmas to people that may not celebrate it. Everything about it is perfect. The animation is wonderful. It was directed by Chuck Jones. Yeah, I just love it. And it's short and sweet and to the point, but man, it really gets you. And you know, when his heart goes 3 sizes, so does yours. Like, it's a perfect holiday special, and it will always be a part of my Christmas tradition. And the last prompt we have is Hanukkah Menorah. The menorah holds the candles that are lit every night to symbolize the every night of the oil lasting in the Hanukkah miracle. For this prompt, we have a holiday movie or special that you can't wait to watch every year because you only watch it during the holidays. So a lot of the movies I mentioned can kind of be watched whenever, even though they are, you know, Christmas or holiday movies. But there's always that one that said you only watch it around the holidays because you can't watch it any other type of year for it to have the same meaning. And there's only one movie I could choose for this one. I watch it every year. I've watched it since I've been a child every year because back in the day, I think it was TNT, now it is TBS, does a 24-hour marathon every single year. And I've watched that 24-hour marathon in bits and pieces on Christmas Day every single year since I can remember. And that is A Christmas Story. I'm sure people are judging me that have seen it. It is not the best movie in the world. It is a very basic plot. It's a 1983 movie that takes place in the 50s, and it's about little Ralphie who all he wants at Christmas is a Red Ryder or BB gun, and the way the world seems to continue to thwart his desire for this toy. It's the one toy he always wanted, and it is like hope to get this one supreme ultimate toy, because we've all had that one supreme ultimate toy that we wanted as a child for Christmas, and this is his story of that. Like I said, it's simple, it's cheesy, it's 80s. So there's something about it. I don't know why. I know part of it is probably because I watched it as a child. I may only watch it like once or twice during the 24-hour marathon, but I will have it on. Even if I'm not paying attention, it will still be on in the household. It's one of those, like, I've seen it so many times. During the 24-hour marathon, you can just tune in whenever, no matter what part of the movie it's at. You're good, you know it. It is a part of Christmas for me. However good or bad that is, I'm not sure, but it's just something I've grown up with and now I'm accustomed to. And I don't think if they ever took that 24-hour marathon off, I'd be very devastated. I'm not even gonna lie. I only watch it on that day. I can't watch it any other day. It starts Christmas Eve to 8 p.m. Christmas night, so it has to be within that Christmas time period. It's the only time I'll watch it at all the whole year. I get my fill and then I wait for the next year when it airs again. So that's the hands down answer. I hope that this was fun. Like I said, I had a lot of fun creating this tag and trying to find different worldwide traditions for the holidays. Again, if you do this tag, I would really love to see your videos, and please link back to this video, tag me in it. Even if it's like an Instagram post, tag me, let me know. I definitely want to see what your guys' answers are. I love holiday movies and I'd love to see what some of your favorites are. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the tag, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.